Now that we've sorted through some of the basics, let's discuss how you can get fit by developing lean body mass, or muscle. The goal here is not bodybuilding or body shaping, where an aesthetic change in muscle bulk or body shape is desired. The objective is to develop strength, agility, and endurance to prepare for a multitude of activities ranging from routine to physically challenging. For any of them, the starting point is the same. I provide exercise in motions similar to the way we function. Also, in my world, fatigue is good. By fatiguing your muscles, it gives your body incentive to grow stronger. If you can perform exercises for long sessions without getting tired, there isn't much incentive for muscles to grow. You have to challenge them in order to get stronger. Typically, exercises are done in sets. Each set is made up of around 15 to 20 repetitions, or reps. We try to do 3 to 4 sets of each exercise. When this becomes too easy, then it's time to add more resistance or increase the number of reps. Remember, the goal is to reach a level of fatigue where it's nearly impossible to do another rep. At this point, you can be sure that you're building muscle. I like using a person's own body weight for many activities because you don't need special equipment. Since you can't increase the weights in these type of exercises, like push-ups, I either add repetitions or put the body in a position of lesser mechanical advantage. Here's an example. For someone who's just starting out, their push-up may look like this. People whose fitness level is a bit more advanced will likely be able to do a push-up like this. And for someone even more advanced, we may see them do a push-up like this. Body control and coordination is as important as repetitions and sets, and form is everything. When I see people at the gym swinging bicep curls up with their whole body, the exercise is useless. The loss of form is the result of using the body to compensate for a fatigued muscle. Correct form and motion is just as critical to doing it safely as supervision, spotting, and instruction. Before we move on to some examples of exercises, let's talk about range of motion. Range of motion refers to the distances and directions a joint can normally move. For example, the ankle has a downward motion of up to 50 degrees. Upward motion of up to 20 degrees. Inward motion of up to 35 degrees. And outward motion of up to 25 degrees. Each joint has what's called end ranges, or limits of motion, where normal structures stop the joint from moving further. Often, with hemophilia, we see abnormal end ranges from damage caused by bleeding episodes. This elbow is a good example of abnormal flexion, extension, and rotation end ranges. In these instances, the damaged or abnormal structures stop the joint motion. It's often painful and irritating to force motion against these damaged structures. And that's why it's very important to develop exercise techniques that respect the abnormal end ranges that your joint may have. To help explain this, I like to think of a red zone and a green zone for joint motions. Entering the red zone is dangerous because it forces motion against damaged structures, making further injury more likely. The green zone is the safer range where the joint still functions normally. Keeping exercises inside the green zone increases the probability of success of your exercise program. This elbow provides a good example of the red and green zones. First, let's identify the end ranges. Now, imagine backing off just a little from the end range before the red zone begins. Use this as a target during exercise and you'll be within your green zone. Follow the same steps for all of your joints. You should also avoid any ranges that cause you specific pain. Now that we have some of the basics down, I'm going to demonstrate some exercises to you using one of my gym members as a model. But before you get started, remember to plan your factor dosing accordingly to ensure that you have the proper level to carry you through an exercise session. Prior to beginning any exercise program, it helps to stretch out. Let's begin with how to properly stretch the hamstrings. These are the muscles that run up the back of your legs. Watch as Robbie slowly bends, taking the muscle to a gentle pull. Now, he's going to hold that stretch for a full 30 seconds, or even more. I see so many people hold a stretch for maybe 5 seconds. They're not getting the benefit that holding a stretch longer provides. Now, as you see here, during those 30 seconds, when Robbie feels the tension decrease, he can take the stretch even further. After about 30 seconds, he returns to his starting position. A good start for stretching includes your pecs, abdominals, hip flexors, quads, back, hamstrings, and calves. There are a few things you should remember about stretching. Rest between stretches. Alternate from one side to the other. Never try to gain too much range in one session. If you overdo it, you can injure yourself. And lastly, relax and breathe deeply. This can allow you to take your stretch further.